Okay, welcome back to Mason Fixer. Today we're going over some common torque converter problems and some stuff to consider before installing a torque converter, or if you already installed a torque converter, just some stuff to know. So let's get started. Okay, so the first problem that I ran into is the spare going out, and that's something that you're gonna run into with cheap torque converters. And I could actually not get the outer bearing out. So what I did was I went back to the original jack shaft plate, and that works quite well. Okay, now for this next problem, which is also something common with cheap torque converters, is where the clutch comes off and everything just comes apart. And what I think happens is the clutch starts coming apart inside, and you start noticing that the clutch is kind of not really engaging right, or it's engaging hard, and it's really rattling a lot, which causes that bolt to come off, and everything just comes apart. And for first time that happened, I thought I just didn't have the bolt tight enough, but this is the second clutch, and I know I had that bolt tight. So I would not recommend to buy cheap clutches. Okay, now another problem that you can run into is tearing up belts, and the first cause for that would be just running cheap belts, and they won't last very long. Another cause for that is the engine being too powerful for the torque converter, and to fix that, you can just get a torque converter rated for the engine. And another cause for tearing up belts is rocks kicking up and just tearing up the belt. And to fix that, you can run a torque converter guard, which actually these come with all torque converters, and it will protect the belt, and I guess it protects you. And another thing it does is contain the dust that the belt gives off when it wears down the belt. And to be prepared, if you do tear up a belt, always carry an extra belt and the proper tools to place it. Okay, now these last problems are going to be stuff that you're going to run into when installing a torque converter. Probably most commonly is these plates don't usually just bolt on. You're going to either need to cut it or raise the engine. Or what I did after the bearing went out is I went back to this jack shaft plate, and I just had to bend that down, or you could cut it off. And that seems to work quite well because I didn't need to raise the engine, I didn't need to cut up the plate, and it's pretty much a bolt-on part besides bending that down so the belt can go. And then for bikes that have the brake on the clutch, you're gonna need to move that to the wheel so the torque converter can bolt on properly. That's just something else that you'll need to consider, is if your bike has a brake on the clutch, you'll just need to move that. Now probably the biggest problem that you run into is having the frame blocking where the torque converter would go, and you would need to cut this and move it somewhere else, or just cut it out completely. And on this cart, this is a big structural piece because down there really isn't strong enough to support this whole back end. Okay, now I'm not saying not to install a torque converter. A good quality torque converter will last you a good long time. I'm just running into these problems because I bought a cheap torque converter. I recommend that you install one because it mechanically gives your bike more power without modding the engine. And I am going to do a video on how these work, and because I don't think a lot of people understand how these work. So please like, subscribe, and share this video, and I need to go order another clutch for this torque converter. See you next time.